Hello world, hello YouTube lands. Just finished reading this one here. Rocketeer and the Spirit, Pulp Fiction. I hate that bloody title, Pulp Fiction. It's not clever, it's tacky, naff and crude. Don't like it. Alright, my initial reaction after reading Rocketeer and the Spirit #1 by DC Comics and IDW, joining up, by Mark Waid and the artist Paul Smith. My initial reaction was annoyance, irritation and disappointment. It's not good, is it? I'll explain why. It's probably because I just finished reading this one here, Rocketeer and Hollywood Horror. This was a couple of months ago. This is issue #1. I think there's about 4 of them. I've got all 4, and they're all fantastic. The stories are a bit silly, but they're really cute. The art is fantastic. The characters are there's Betty and the Rocketeer. Betty's the girlfriend, the girlfriend of the Rocketeer. She's drawn really youthful and cute and fun and feisty. And in this new one, she looks fat and old. And the Rocketeer himself, Cliff, when he's got his helmet off, he just looks like an old bloke. It's like in this comic, from this to this comic, he's aged about 15 years. Him and his girlfriend both aged, and they haven't aged particularly well. I don't think that's deliberate. I just think the artist in Hollywood Horror, Mr. J. Bone, is a lot better than the artist in Rocketeer and the Spirit. It's Mr. Paul Smith, unfortunately. So yeah, that was my initial reaction really after reading the comic. Total disappointment. So am I gonna just jump off it straight away and not look at it ever again? No, because the story was a little bit interesting. I'm not saying it's terribly interesting, but a little bit interesting. I'll go through this one quickly now. But we begin in Central City in February 1941, so a while back. But what they're talking about in Central City are the same issues we talk about now, really. They're talking about large corporations owning all the press. I mean, you've got large corporations owning all the press. They're talking about radio in this in 1941. Obviously, today you've got the same situation with TV. When you've got just a few corporations owning everything, you only get a very small point of view on what's going on in the world. So what's happening at the moment is you've got big corporations like News Corp. You've got BBC, especially here in England, Sky TV, owning just about everything. And so any opinion that's out of the mainstream is labelled conspiracy theory, isn't it? And they sort of laugh at it and mock it, even though it could very well just have as much validity as anything in the mainstream. So what's happening in this comic? They're saying this bloke here is saying it's a bad thing that corporations are going to get control of the media. A couple panels later, he turns up dead, doing a photo shoot with Betty. And there's Betty, remember the girlfriend of the Rocketeer, looking fat and old. So great job there. She's supposed to be an attractive young teenager, about 19-20 years old, not fat and old, but and you've got the Spirit. I know nothing about the Spirit. He's just a bloke with a little mask on. From what I can see, not particularly interesting. The Spirit goes in, is introduced onto the scene because he's investigating the murder, and the Rocketeer is on the scene because obviously his girlfriend found the body. We have a misunderstanding fight with the Rocketeer and the Spirit fighting when they really should have just met at the pub and had a little chat, and there would have been no reason for their aerial fight. There's some half decent artwork there with the aerial fight. That's mainly because of their action shots. They're not like character shots, facial shots, where the artist really lets himself down here with the portrayal of everybody's a horse and fat. in the action scenes, he's alright. Yeah, that's the biggest compliment I can pay to him. He's alright. At the end of the comic, oh god, there we go again. Poor old Betty. I can just get oh, you can't see her on camera. No, she's lying in bed. I guess she's supposed to be seductive and voluptuous and attractive and desirable. But again, she just looks old and fat. And what happens is Spirit knocks on a door to chat to her about the body that she found. and she swooned in the arms of the spirit, and then Rocketeer's there, and he's not happy because that's his girlfriend. That is the last panel. What can I say about this? How can I possibly convince anybody to read on? I mean, unless you somebody like myself who's interested in the corporations owning too much of the media, I don't see that any other reason why anybody would be interested in this. And even for myself, I'm thinking about just having nothing at all to do with it ever again. It's pretty boring, isn't it? It's a pretty boring comic. The spirit doesn't seem to have any particular distinctive character traits or anything. There's witty and clever dialogue between the two characters, but that doesn't come across as them having any distinct personalities of their own. That just comes across as Mark Waid trying to be clever in the comic. The artwork is terrible. It's not a patch on the old comic, as I keep saying all the time. And the only reason you can look at issue number 2 is to see if they go anywhere with this corporations owning up and the media companies and radio and television. Is that enough to save this comic? Is it enough? Oh god, here we go. Rocketeer and the Spirit, Pulp Fiction. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I'll give it a 4 out of 10, and that's been extremely ridiculous, unfortunately. Okay. See ya. You see the orb there? See the orb? That's probably the most interesting thing about my review. The orbs that are flying across us as I do these reviews. Are they ghosts? Are they spirits? Or are they moths? Anyway, okay, thanks for listening. See ya. Bye.